Good morning, it's Kathleen Littleton. I'm with Cross Stitch Antiques and it's March almost. I'm here to present my Nashville Market 2023 releases. These will be available to the shops attending first of all, and then available to the general public and to other shops as well. So keep in mind that I also have a shop. My shop is called Family Hearth General Store. So I will be attending market as both an exhibitor and as a shop owner. So I'll be bringing back things to my shop, which you can find on my website, which is Cross Stitch Antiques for my designs and reproductions, and familyhearthgeneralstore.com for links to my cross stitch as well as linens and other cross stitch materials that I carry. And if you've ever want to come and visit downtown historic Frankfort, established 1850, please do. I have my shop in an old general store with old pine floors and vintage inspirational items as well as cross stitch supplies. But on to the releases. First of all, I'm so excited. I have 6 releases this year. And the first one I'd like to present to you is Jane Milner. Here she is. Jane Milner, 1830, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, is a Quaker extract sampler. I obtained it from the Huber collection, Stephen and Carol, and it came with Providence About Jane, and it's absolutely a glorious sampler. It's entirely stitched the outside border in over 1. The interior cartouche is stitched over 2, with some of the flowers over 1 and some over 2, and the moralistic verse in the center is stitched over 1. So this is a very historic sampler. This is the actual antique that you're looking at. You can see how vibrant these colors are. I recommend stitching the model on Light Hazelnut by X Jude Designs. I have it charted that way as well with 103 threads. All my charts contain conversions to DMC, as well as many offer NPI, so this one does all 3. And let me show you the actual antique. Here we go. Pardon the glare from the sun. Jane Milner, 1830. As you might know, there's several different styles of Quaker samplers. There's the medallions, there's the extract, there's the marking samplers, and there's darning samplers. So this is a beautiful example of an extract sampler. You can see the stitcher left it unfinished. There is a blank spot next to that center star, which was never stitched or completed. However, I have provided the flower to the left of that star, which is done in satin stitch and cross stitch. That is charted for you. You can decide yourself if you'd like to stitch that single one or stitch a duplicate in reverse on either side, or just leave that big flower off altogether, which would make it look more balanced. Just absolutely vibrant and gorgeous, and that would be my first release, Jane Milner Quaker Extract Sampler. The second release is absolutely beautiful as well, and I'm not saying this to pat myself on the shoulder, but really to give accolades to these stitchers who stitched these samplers back in the early 1800s that I was blessed to obtain and to reproduce and share with you. So the stunningness of them goes to them. I'm just grateful to have received them and to be able to share them with all of you. So the second release I have is Oh Sweet Humility, Eliza Townsend, 1835. What can I say? This one ticks all my boxes. flowers, gorgeous border, red building, most likely a temple, beautiful religious motto, pastoral scene with animals in the bottom. Again, you are looking at the antique, just stunning. It has survived all these years, almost 200 years since 1835. We have this one available as well in a chart, which I suggest using 40 count vintage pecan butter as a good match. Needlepoint ink silks, also charted and conversion provided for DMC and 103. Providence is also included, as much as I could obtain. And the beautiful verse says, "O sweet humility, can words impart how much I love thee, how divine thou art. Nurse us not only in our infant age, conduct us still through each successive stage. A varying life, lead us from youth's gay prime to the last step of man's appointed time." So she's a wow, and let me show you her in person. This is the antique. You would think it was just stitched yesterday. Look at that border. Beautiful florals. Beautiful colors, still vibrant. And the pastoral scene in the bottom. Wow. Such a treasure. Oh, Sweet Humility, Eliza Townsend. Release number 2. All right, so the next one is release number 3, which I don't yet have a framed model for, but I would be remiss to think that I could possibly show everything in one day, which I don't yet have finished, but I will. I'm working steadily on my model, and I am apologizing if I don't have this chart ready for you, but I will have it, of course, at market. So the number 3 release is Mary Ann Borden, 1836. First, I'm going to show you the antique, and we'll talk more about her. Again, pardon the glare here, but this is a memorial sampler. It's in very bad shape, so I'm obviously stitching a model for the cover. Mary Ann Borden stitched this sampler at age 9 in the year 1836 as a memorial sampler on the death of her younger brother, Luther, aged 3 years old. I was able to obtain all the provenance doing research and found out that Mary Ann herself and her family lived in Fall River, Massachusetts, and she lived there all of her life. You can find out more about her when you purchase the chart, but I was just thrilled to obtain this sampler from an antique shop in Tennessee, actually, about a year ago, last January, and it just really appeals to me. I love those pink, vibrant colors around the exterior of the lettering. I love lettering. I love alphabets, and this one is, again, a memorial sampler, but it's not depressing. It's very heart-moving to see the love this young girl had for her brother, that she would stitch a beautiful sampler and then add these cheerful flowers around the exterior borders. So here is Mary Ann Borden's beautiful model in progress. And again, the windows are giving it a bit of a glare, but you can see don't have too much left, just a little bit of over ones there, and lovely sampler. So she'll be the cover photo, and almost done. So this is a 40 count Tickerty Boo by Tabby Cat Linen, and I'm using NPI silks, and this chart will be available with all those conversions again, DMC, NPI, and 103 silks. So that is release number 3. Release number 4 is a small, based on a sampler I've released in the past. So her name, or its name, is New England Chapel. And here she is, New England Chapel, which is a small based on my previously released Band of Roses, which came out in 2017. Actually, the very first antique reproduction I obtained and charted and provided to the public. So in this lower left corner, you will see a pastoral scene of a church with 2 small people dressed in 19th century clothing on the lawn. And it's that segment of this sampler that I have made into a small so that you can stitch it and the beautiful flowers above. And you can personalize it with your initials and the year, perhaps as a wedding gift, or perhaps as an anniversary gift, symbolizing either someone you love or a gift to someone, or even to yourself. Now, this one is called New England Chapel. The model is stitched on 40 count Brea by Needle and Flax with DMC. And the stitch count is 119 by 122. And it fits perfectly in this 7x7 box from Colonial Designs. And you can see the lovely box opens, and it's called a book box or a Bible box. And you can obtain these boxes from Old Colonial Designs. The contact information will be on the back of the charts. So delighted with the way this one turned out. And I do all my own model stitching. That's why I'm like a little bit behind the game there with Ann Borden. But this one is a lovely stitch. It's all DMC in the 40 count Brea. So I hope you enjoy that one as well. So she is number 4. Number 5 is another small taken from a larger sampler. And this one is called Alice's Rose, 1844. She is taken from the larger Ellis Clark, I Had a Father Kind and True, which was released at last year's Nashville market. And this chart is just the upper left hand corner, that gorgeous rose. It also contains the border on all 4 sides. I don't want to really show you the inside of the chart, but just imagine this entire red floral border going around that center rose with a place to add your initials in all 4 corners and a date that's significant to you. So what I want to show you in regards to this chart is, first of all, the antique of Ellis Clark. She's a big one. 500 by 500. She's available. I showed this several times. There's people out there posting on social media. They're stitching up the progress, which is just stunning to see other people's work on this. But there's Alice's Rose up at the top. And this one is stitched on 46 count Old Sheep by X-Jute Designs with 103 silks. And I do have some progress on the model. I'm actually stitching the entire Ellis Clark, which again is a work in progress, but here is the corner that I'm talking about. Again, those windows are giving us a little bit of a glare, but there you go, Alice's Rose, and just imagine that finished with the border fully squaring off the beautiful rose with personalization provided for your initials and a year. So this little small is called Alice's Rose, and I hope you enjoy her as well. Then we have, last but not least, another little small based on one of my previous releases, and this one is called 2 Turtle Doves. 2 Turtle Doves. which would make a great Christmas ornament, and that's how it's finished on the cover, and it provides finishing instructions. And this is adapted from motifs taken from Ann Wilkinson, 1834, another antique sampler of mine, which was released in 2020. And here you have Ann Wilkinson chart, and here we have Ann Wilkinson antique. Oh, she's a big one, heavy too. So here we have the antique. You can see down at the bottom that right here motif is the two birds, and I adapted a portion of this band right above it to create the lovely little small. We have two turtle doves. Okay. She is done on Fuller's Teasel 38 count with DMC, but you can use any kind of vintage or cream colored linen or Aida of your choice to stitch this last release of mine. Okay, well there you have it. I will be posting my releases on my website as well as on Instagram. They're available at market to those attending first and foremost, but please put your order in at your local needle workshop if you're interested, and I will eventually have up on my website some limited edition kits, including Lakeside linens and other linens from X Jude with the silks or the DMC options. But that's aftermarket, so that the shops attending get full access to these first of all. So shop your local needlework store, support those brick and mortars and those online shops, and I'm so grateful to be able to present these to you this year. I hope you enjoy them, and I will see you again soon. Thanks so much. God bless you.